泳げもしないのに。
骨はボーンって浮かんでるだけで気持ちいいんです。
Looking for a different kind of win? I got you. My name's Graffiti. Share, subscribe, like if you haven't. You're going to want to give me a like. I got that deck list down below for you. So let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? Hope you enjoy. Today, Nami. When your deck is reduced to 0, you win the game instead of losing, according to the rules. Times 1 Dawn, when this leader's attack deals damage to your opponent's life, you may trash 1 card from the top of your deck. So getting your deck down to 0 will be the goal for the most part. The list I've been seeing pop up, some of the cards, I just don't understand the logic behind their choices. Playing the event cards on the hope that you get it on the trigger, solely on that basis, because the main part of the card is just terrible for the style of the deck you're trying to do here. It's just bad in my eyes. In my list, I'm not running Buggy. I feel as neat as he is, I'd rather have a blocker to help me get there, see more cards, hopefully, to just manage that in there. I feel that the 0 card approach should be more of a second nature thing, because they're going to be expecting you to be defensive and doing only that. So with this list, you'll see a little bit of things different than what you normally will, because, sometimes the best defense is a pack of elephants going up and over the mountain. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something you do, something you don't. Look into that. Anyways, let's get right into it. I got 3,000 worlds for 4 on main. Place up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. Trigger, place up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. A lot of times you're going to get rid of their blocker, their main threat, what they just played. You're kind of denying and stalling them as best as possible with this deck. But like I mentioned, and you'll see that when the characters come around, what I'm talking about. Sometimes you want to utilize this because it doesn't specify your opponents. Utilize your own cards to recycle them to get you there faster. It took me a little bit to understand that myself, like overheat. You'll see in a minute. Yeah. So, I'll admit it. Not the smartest at times. Anyway, Sanji's Pilaf, man, that Pilaf is so great. For 3. Main, draw 2 cards. Trigger, activate main effect. So just draw 2 for 3. Pretty solid. Most games, when you're getting a pretty fair trade like that, it's justifiable in the deck. It's definitely a draw spell because you're getting more than you're putting into it, I feel. With very little support we offer so far, it's great to have. Speaking of Desert Spada here, it's a 2k counter essentially for 1 for your leader or character. Then you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and place them on top or bottom in any order with the trigger of draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. It does not have to be the 2 you drew. It could be any card you have been sitting there for a while. You just read the board of what your target to trash would be. You're just trying to survive. Get going. Arabesque. I'm pretty sure I stalled that on that because I don't know. Anyways, for 2 on main, return up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to owner's hand. Trigger, play this card's main effect. Bounce a creature, pretty solid. On trigger, on play, 4 of them, removal. Like I said, you're just kind of this minimal damage to your lead. Keeping your life cards intact is kind of key for the most part. Sometimes these triggers are just as bad. Yellow decks have been kind of a sturdy, what the hell, man, battle. Gum Giant Gavel. For 1, this is more or less a 4k counter for 1, but you may trash 1 card from your hand. Then the counter happens to one of your leaders gained 4, only for your leaders though. Sorry. But during this battle against 4k, you may trash 2 cards on the top of your deck. And then also the trigger of return up to 1 character with a 4 or less cost to owner's hand. That does not specify opponents or yours. So sometimes utilize yours. If needed, read the board. Maybe I should read the cards and learn how to say their names. Usopp's Rubber Band of Doom. Doom, 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 doom. For 1, it's a 2k counter for your leader or characters, and it gains 2k power during this battle. Then you may trash 1 card from the top of your deck. With the trigger, you may draw 1 card, then trash 1 card from the top of your deck. So it's pretty good. It's 1 for 1. So on the trigger, it's a 1 in mill 1. So, you know. Into Overheat, 2 of them. You can run 4. 2 seems pretty solid to me. It's about your area. It's your list. You do what you wish. 2. It's a 4k counter for 2. 1 of your leaders of your characters gain 4k power during this battle. Then return 1 active character with a cost of 3 or less to owner's hand. Trigger. Return 1 card with a cost of 4 or less to its owner's hand. It doesn't have to be a character. You can hit stages. So that's pretty solid. Some people didn't think about that. What the relevance of that is, hey, you never know when you want to do that. Earlier, like I said, blockers over him. Don Quixote do Flamingo, 4,000 for 3 blocker with a 1k counter side on play. You see the top 5 cards of your deck and you put them back or in any order on top or bottom. I feel that blocker is pretty solid. Or you can get the one of the number guys, the one that you can discard to. I think it's number 3. You can, in a turn, discard a card to set him as active. He's like a 5k for 3. He's pretty solid. I'll have him down in the description below. Some variants or something. And maybe the 1-drop Trap Loss pretty solid too. Bell-mère, 5k for 4 with a 1k counter aside. ×1 Dawn. When this character's attack deals damage to your opponent's life, you may trash 7 cards from the top of your deck. On KO, you may trash 3 cards from the top of your deck. So, if they kill it and it gets in, that's at least 10 cards right there. Top 8's in play and all that. You're already missing 10 to 12 cards from your deck after your security is hit and all that. So, or your life or whatever you want to call it. Moving into Kaya, no power, 1 Dawn, 2k counter. A lot of times that's helpful. On play, you draw 2 and then trash 2 from your hand. Like again, I said earlier, it does not have to be the 2 you just drew. This says 2 from hand. Going right into Zeph here. He's 6,000 power for 5, 1k counter on the side. Just like Bell-mère, just like the Usopp, I'm not running. It's all preference here. I would probably run 2 maybe if I could switch-swatch some things. You'll see in a second. But on play, you may return up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to owner's hand and trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. So not only is it 6k for 5, on play alone, bounce a 3 or less character and then mill 2. It doesn't say which character or opponent, so you can hit your own as well too, so be mindful of that. I'm going to stop mentioning that from here on out, so it's pretty, well, you know, anyways. Just like Bell-mère ×1 Dawn, when this character's attack deals damage to your opponent's life, you may trash 7 cards from the top of your deck. You're just trying to get rid of your deck. But also, they're pretty beefy. Put a couple Dawn on them, just try to get them through. I wish we had a little bit of removal for the characters to try to get into them, you know. But anyways, Nojiko. Probably fuck that up, go. Anyways, no power for 2, 1k counter side on play. If your leader is Nami, return up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less to the owner's hand. Get rid of that blocker. Maybe, yeah, you're giving them a little bit of power. Keep that in mind when you're donning up for the attack. But you just kind of gave them a little bit for their hand because they know what you're trying to do. But removal. Pseudo removal. It's not good removal. Monkey-D Luffy. 7k for 6, no counter on play. When attacking, you may trash 2 cards from your hand. So when you play it or attacking, return up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand. Then this character gains double attack during this turn. It's just more removal on a stick. It's utilized a little bit more. And you can get them for 2 other life cards. They're not going to be really expecting that right away. And just to constantly be able to balance a blocker is something kind of fun for them. If you don't like that, like I said, Usopp, 2 of them maybe. Be pretty solid. The 4-drop one with Rush. And he has the same ×1 Dawn. If that attack took a life card, you mill 7. I feel that one's pretty solid more than the 7-drop one that just came out in set 3. That it's really good for its value. Maybe one of them. But the last character in this set is Mr. Daz Bonez. 1K for 1K counter side on play. Add up to 1 blue event card with a cost of 1 cost of 1 from your trash to your hand. So you get to recycle a lot more of your counters, see himself as a counter, and then kind of go in on the attack if needed late game. Just kind of dawn up there. It can be pseudo-aggressive. Sometimes that is the win condition that you're going to see at hand more than the mill. It does throw them off, and I think with the Luffy, you get a little further with it, with also the blocker. You're not seeing, they're not expecting them. So you can still kind of get them. I have a few other suggestions I'll have down below, but I hope you liked what you saw. Like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Have a good one.